You've been asking the universe for a sign, for change, for a breakthrough. But what if the universe is waiting on you? What if nothing changes? Because you haven't? You keep trying new methods, new affirmations, new visualizations. And yet, the story feels the same. Different techniques, same results, same emotions, same vibration. And you start to wonder, why does my life keep repeating itself? The answer is simple. Because your energy does. Nothing in your reality can move until you do. Because life is a mirror. It doesn't show you what you want. It shows you what you are. Every moment, every interaction, every challenge and every delay is a reflection of the frequency you're carrying. You can't hide from your vibration. The mirror never lies. When you look at your life, you're looking at the energy you've been broadcasting. If you see chaos, there's chaos inside. If you see peace, just because peace is alive within you. The outer world only rearranges itself to match your inner one. That's why no manifestation technique will work. If you're not changing the vibration behind it, you can't attract abundance while feeling unworthy. You can't attract love while fearing rejection. You can't attract freedom while living in doubt. Energy doesn't respond to words. It responds to identity. Every affirmation you speak is filtered through who you believe you are. So when you say, I am abundant, but deep down you feel lack, the vibration that reaches the universe is still scarcity. You can only receive what your energy is ready to hold. That's why change always begins within. Not in your habits, not in your routines, but in your frequency. The moment you shift internally, everything outside must respond. Because the universe isn't separate from you. It is you, echoing your consciousness back to you, in physical form. That's the law. Reality doesn't wait for your permission. It follows your vibration. So when nothing changes, it's not because life is ignoring you. It's because your energy is repeating itself. Most people try to change from the outside in. They chase new circumstances, hoping that different results will create different feelings. But energy doesn't work that way. Your feelings create your reality, not the other way around. Until you shift your inner state, you'll keep attracting versions of the same lesson, in different disguises, different people, different jobs, same vibration. Because energy repeats itself, until consciousness evolves. The truth is, the universe isn't punishing you with repetition. It's teaching you self-awareness. Every loop you live through is an invitation to wake up to the energy you're projecting. Once you see the pattern clearly, you stop being trapped by it, because awareness itself is transformation. That's the first real shift. Not when you fix your circumstances, but when you recognize yourself in them. So look around. Look closely. Everything that frustrates you, everything that inspires you, everything that triggers you, is showing you your vibration. You're not attracting random things. You're attracting mirrors. And those mirrors are here to help you see where you're still waiting for life to change. Instead of changing your own energy, nothing changes until you do. Because you are the source. You are the signal. You are the frequency that shapes everything you experience. Once you stop trying to manipulate outcomes and start mastering your vibration, life begins to move. It's not the world that shifts, it's you. And the moment you shift, the world has to follow. So if you've been waiting for a sign, this is it. The next level of your life is waiting on your next level of energy. And that change doesn't begin in your circumstances. It begins in your consciousness. Because the universe doesn't answer what you want. It answers what you are. Change doesn't begin when your circumstances shift. It begins the moment you decide to stop living as the old vibration. Because your reality isn't built from action. It's built from energy. You can't think your way into a new life. You have to feel your way into it. That's the difference between trying to manifest and truly transforming. Most people try to change by rearranging what's outside of them. They move cities. They switch jobs. They end relationships. But the same patterns follow. Because the energy that created them never changed. You can leave a place, but you can't escape your vibration. It travels with you until you face it. And that moment, when you stop running and start feeling, is where the real shift begins. The shift within is not loud. It's subtle. It's quiet. It happens when awareness meets resistance. It's when you stop trying to fix everything and simply notice what's happening inside of you. That awareness is power. Because the moment you become conscious of your vibration, you're no longer ruled by it. The pattern loses control. The energy begins to move. Awareness melts resistance. And movement creates change. So how do you shift within? You stop trying to become something new. You start remembering who you already are. Because everything you want to become is already present in your higher frequency. You don't create peace. You uncover it. You don't build abundance. You align with it. You don't manifest love. You return to the vibration of it. The process isn't about effort. It's about remembrance. Every time you quiet your mind and tune into your body, you step closer to alignment. Because your body is the most honest part of you. It tells the truth about your vibration. Tightness means resistance. Softness means flow. So when you feel heaviness, don't judge it. Breathe into it. That breath is the bridge between who you were and who you're becoming. Each breath that says, I allow, dissolves a piece of the old energy. Each moment of presence invites a new frequency in. That's how you shift. Not with pressure, but with awareness. The shift within isn't a single event. It's a practice. A daily decision to return to your truth over and over again. You'll still feel fear. You'll still face doubt. But the difference is, you won't identify with them anymore. You'll recognize them as energy passing through you, not defining you. And that simple awareness is what frees you. Because you can't change what you keep calling you, but you can transform what you're willing to observe. The moment you observe yourself, without judgment, you raise your vibration instantly. Judgment keeps you stuck in the old identity. Acceptance sets you free. And freedom is what the universe responds to. Because freedom means trust. Trust means openness. And openness means readiness. That's the frequency of change. The universe doesn't respond to perfection. It responds to readiness. And readiness isn't about being fearless. It's about being willing. Willingness says, I don't know how this will unfold, but I'm ready to align with it. That sentence alone creates an energetic shift, because you're no longer fighting what is. You're inviting what can be. And the moment you stop resisting your present, you open the door to your future. That's the paradox of transformation. You can't change reality until you stop rejecting the one you have. Every situation in your life right now is not here to punish you. It's here to mirror what you've been ready to transcend. Each challenge carries a vibration that says, are you ready to choose differently this time? And when you answer yes, your energy rises. Because every choice is an energetic declaration. When you choose peace over reaction, you shift timelines. When you choose love over fear, you shift reality. When you choose presence over control, you shift into flow. That's what changing within really means. It's not a mental affirmation. It's a vibrational permission. It's allowing the old version of you to dissolve naturally, while the new version emerges effortlessly. You don't have to destroy the old self. You just stop feeding it. You stop speaking from the vibration of lack and start thinking, feeling, and acting as if you're already whole. Because you are. You always were. You just forgot. So take a breath right now. Not a breath to escape, a breath to arrive. Feel your feet on the ground. Feel your heart beating. Feel the silence between thoughts. That's you. The real you. Beneath every story, every fear, every label. The part of you that never needed to change, only to awaken. And when that part becomes your focus, your world starts to respond. Because the inner shift always precedes the outer change. Nothing changes until you do. And the you that must change isn't your personality, it's your vibration. When you shift within, you start to feel the pull. The gentle but unstoppable current of becoming. It's not about forcing a new identity. It's about remembering the one that was always waiting underneath. You've spent years asking for change, not realizing that the change was asking for you. And now, you're finally ready to answer. Becoming the new frequency isn't about effort. It's about embodiment. It's no longer something you think. It's something you live. It shows up in your breath, in your choices, in the way you respond to life. You stop reacting from your old wounds and start responding from your new awareness. That's when people say, you seem different. But you're not different. You're aligned. The new frequency is calm. It doesn't rush. It doesn't doubt. It simply knows. It knows that everything you've been seeking is already connected to your vibration. So instead of chasing, you start radiating. And what you radiate is what the universe reorganizes around. You don't force opportunities, they appear. You don't control timing, it aligns. You don't beg for clarity, it arrives. Because now your energy is coherent. And coherence is the language the universe understands best. Becoming the new frequency is like tuning a radio. You don't blame the music for not playing. You adjust the dial. And once you find the right station, You don't question it. You trust the sound. That's what alignment feels like. You stop doubting the process, because you can feel it working. You stop asking, when will it come? Because you already feel it arriving. That feeling, that certainty without evidence, is the new vibration. Your new frequency doesn't need to prove itself. It simply exists. You no longer need to announce your transformation. Your energy speaks for you. It speaks through your stillness, your peace, your quiet confidence. It says, I'm no longer waiting for my life to change. I am the change. And life mirrors that statement perfectly. Every time you act from this vibration, you tell the universe, I'm ready to live as my future self. And the universe, always listening to the frequency beneath your words, says back, then it's done. Because it was never about time. It was always about readiness. The moment your energy stabilizes in the new frequency, reality rearranges to reflect it. It can't do anything else. That's the law of resonance. You don't need to manifest the new version of you. You need to remember it, because that version already exists, in the field of all potential. It's not something you create, it's something you align with, and the way you align is by letting go of everything that vibrates differently. Every fear, every doubt, every old story that says, I'm not ready. You don't fight those stories. You just stop believing them. You breathe. You let them pass. And with every breath, you rise higher into the frequency of truth. The new frequency feels light, not because nothing challenges you, but because you no longer carry resistance. You don't need to control outcomes. You trust energy. You trust timing. You trust the intelligence behind the flow. You realize that everything happening is the manifestation. Even the waiting. Even the silence. Even the uncertainty. Because all of it is shaping you into the vibration that matches what you asked for. You start to feel abundance before money arrives. You start to feel love before someone appears. You start to feel peace before the problem resolves. That's the new frequency. Feeling it now, so it can exist later. Because the universe doesn't deliver feelings after events. It delivers events that match feelings. So when you decide to feel it first, you activate the timeline where it's already true. This is the secret most never realize. The new vibration doesn't wait for results. It creates them. The moment you embody the emotion of the reality you desire, you become magnetically aligned with it. Your field shifts, your choices shift, your perception shifts, and what was once invisible starts revealing itself. You begin to see synchronicities. Doors open. Momentum builds. Not because something new appeared, but because you did. Becoming the new frequency is not about fixing yourself. It's about expanding into the self that doesn't need fixing. It's remembering that you are already whole, already worthy, already enough. When that becomes your vibration, the universe responds instantly. Because wholeness doesn't chase. It attracts. It radiates. It receives. That's who you are now. The receiver, the creator, the flow itself, and everything in your reality is beginning to recognize it. Change isn't something that happens once. It's something you live, breath by breath, moment by moment. You don't reach it. You embody it. When you live as the change, you stop chasing transformation and start being the evidence of it. You stop waiting for the reflection to shift, because you already know the mirror will follow. Living as the change means you've stopped looking for signs, because your life is the sign. You've stopped waiting for proof, because your peace is the proof. You've stopped asking for alignment, because alignment is how you wake up in the morning now. Soft, grounded, certain. You no longer beg the universe to move. You move first, and the universe flows with you. That's the rhythm of creation. When you live as the change, you no longer need to explain yourself to anyone. Your energy speaks louder than words. Your calm becomes magnetic. Your trust becomes contagious. People feel it before they understand it. They sense something different about you. Not louder but lighter. Not stronger but steadier. Because you're no longer reacting to life. You're responding from presence. You've become a conscious participant in your own reality. You realize that manifestation isn't a tool. It's a state of being. You are no longer the person trying to attract the life you want. You are the person living from the vibration of already having it. And that difference changes everything. Because when you stop wanting, you start having. The energy of wanting pushes. The energy of having attracts. So now you walk differently. You speak differently. You carry yourself with the quiet knowing that everything unfolds in your favor. Living as the change doesn't mean life is perfect. It means you are. perfect in your presence, perfect in your process, perfect in your willingness to trust what you can't yet see. You don't fear uncertainty anymore. You welcome it. Because uncertainty means possibility, and possibility means creation. You understand now that the unknown is not against you. It's where miracles live. And every time you choose trust over fear, you expand that field of miracles around you. You begin to see life differently. Every person becomes a mirror of love. Every delay becomes divine timing. Every ending becomes an opening. You stop labeling experiences as good or bad. You see them all as evolution. Because everything that happens to you is happening for you. Even the pain, even the confusion, even the silence. They're all part of the same current, guiding you closer to alignment, closer to peace, closer to your truth. Living as the change is freedom. Freedom from waiting. Freedom from trying. Freedom from who you thought you had to be. It's the realization that you don't need to reach for the future. You only need to remember the power of now. Because now is the only frequency that manifests. Not yesterday's guilt. Not tomorrow's worry. Only now. And in this now, you are already everything you were searching for. So you walk gently through life. You no longer rush. You no longer chase. You no longer beg. You listen. You allow. You move when your soul moves. That's the flow. That's alignment. That's power. The world begins to organize itself around your stillness. People show up when they're meant to. Opportunities align without effort. Synchronicities multiply like echoes of your energy. Because the universe loves a steady heart. And yours has finally found its rhythm. Living as the change doesn't mean you never fall back. It means you rise faster. It means you remember, no matter what happens, that your energy creates not your circumstances. You trust again. You forgive faster. You return to peace sooner. Because peace is now your default state, not your reward. And from that peace, creation flows endlessly. This is the truth most people miss. You don't have to become someone else to change your life. You just have to stop being the version that doesn't believe it's possible. The moment you release that version, the real you, the infinite, aligned, radiant you, takes over. And when that happens, you don't manifest miracles. You realize you've been living in one all along. So breathe, smile. Let this moment be enough. Because this is it, the proof that you've changed. Not tomorrow, not someday. No, you are the change. You are the vibration. You are the evidence of alignment. And the universe, as it always does, is simply catching up to you.